going to do some thoracic work today. So we're going to use a wall, and if you have a stick, we're going to use some stick for some mobility in our warm-up. But let's get started. So our warm-up general mobilization, we're going to go from the top down, starting with the head, looking up and down. Keep those shoulders relaxed. Do one more, bring it back to center, and we will drop the ear to the shoulder. Going. Let Virginia in. All right, so shoulders are relaxed. We're dropping the head side to side. Let's hold it here on one side. Keep those shoulders down, and we'll do half circles to the front. 5 in each direction. Good, one more. All right, big arm circles. So we're going to keep the arms nice and straight. We're going to try not to pop the ribs as we bring the arms around. So you want to keep those ribs down. So try not to do too much of this. We'll do 10 in each direction. So go the other way if you haven't already. Still keeping those arms nice and straight. All right, let's open it front and back. So swinging those arms to the front and to the back. You can think about alternating which arm crosses in front. If you want to warm up the brain a little bit. And now let's open it to the side. Squeezing this glute to open the hip. So you should feel a little bit of a stretch through the front of the hip as you do these. One more on each side. All right, shake it out. Let's get into those elbows. So arms out to the side, elbow circles, hands coming in towards the face, and then a full extension on the way out. See if you can smooth it out. And then go the other way. Good. All right. Wrists, big wrist circles. We're going to do 10 in each direction, but you're really making these as big as you can. You should feel it all the way up into your forearms. Other way. Good. Okay, shake it up. We'll do some spinal roll downs. So feet are under the hips, maybe slightly wider. We're starting with that head. We're tucking the chin and rolling down one vertebrae at a time. Your knees are going to stay soft. When the hands get to the floor, you're just going to let everything relax. You'll take a deep breath in. And then you're going to slowly roll up, keeping the knees soft, tucking your tailbone, rolling up one vertebrae at a time until that head is the last thing to come up. We're going to do that again. Rolling down. Knees are soft. When the hands get to the floor this time, we walk them to one side. Knees are still bent. Bend your knees as much as you need to get your hands to the floor, and then actively push into the floor. Straighten the arms. Get that nice stretch through the side body. If you want, you can straighten the legs if you can. Then we're going to go to the other side. Knees are soft, pushing into the floor, straighten the legs if you want. And then back to center. Soften the knees, tuck the tailbone, and roll up. Good. All right, our side bends. Reaching up, so feet are wide. We're gonna reach up, create lots of space, bend to the side. Reaching that arm away, turning that armpit up towards the ceiling. Good. Bring the arm up to the side and then come up, and then we'll go to the other side. Reach, bend, reach away, armpit towards the ceiling. Getting a nice big stretch here. Now from here we'll fold over the leg. So the legs are as straight as you can get them. But you're relaxing your neck, your shoulders, your elbows, everything is relaxed here. Now we're going to open it up to the side. So if you're on your left leg, your left arm opens up towards the ceiling. So like that windmill or a triangle pose. All right, bring it down. We're going to come through center, go to the other side. So we're just folding over the leg, relaxing neck, shoulders, head, elbows. And then open it up to the side. So if you're on your right leg, right arm opens up. Left leg, left arm opens up. All right, bringing it back down through center. So just come to center, grab your elbows, and just let everything relax. Head, neck, shoulders, elbows, and then sway side to side. See if you can bring the weight into the balls of your feet. And then bringing it to a stop in the center, bend the knees, tuck the tailbone, and roll up. Good. We're going to move on to the hips. So first thing we're going to do tonight is we're going to do some pelvic tilts. So if you've done any belly dancing, you might recognize these. If not, we'll do them here. So we're going to just tilt the pelvis under and then release. So very simply, tilt and then release. So sticking that tailbone out. The ribs shouldn't be doing any, there shouldn't be any movement through the ribs here. We're isolating it at the hips. Good. All right, we're going to bring the hips now up and down. So knees are soft. You're going to straighten one leg. I mean, it's not going to go all the way straight, but you're going to straighten it enough so that the hip lifts. You'll feel a nice stretch through the side and then the other side. So see if you can do a few of those. Good. All right, we're going to put it together. So we're going to lift to one side, then we're going to tuck the tailbone, then we're going to lift to the other side, then we release the tailbone. So it's up, tuck under, up, release. And then you connect the dots and see if you can do a smooth circle. So we do lots of big hip circles in this class, but let's see if we can isolate this and make it a little smaller. And then go the other way. If you need to break it down, you can, or if you just want to move into the circle, you can move into the circle. Good. All right, let's make these big now. Feet out a little bit wider. I'm going to come around in big hip circles. Yes. So as you're coming around, you can squeeze the glutes. As you squeeze the glutes, you might feel those hips open up a little bit more in the front. We'll do one more this way, then change direction. Good. All right, one more. Cool. All right, ankles, and then we'll move on. So find your balance. If you need to hang on to something, you hang on to something, and you're going to draw some big circles with your ankle. You can even imagine you're tracing a square, but you're getting as much range of motion as you can, pointing and flexing the foot as it comes around. Let's go the other way. And we'll go to the other foot. Big, big circles. Other way. Good. All right, grab your stick. If you have your stick handy, excuse me. Virginia, you came in a little late, so I said we were going to need a stick today. If you don't have a stick, that's okay. If you have a towel or just something that you can hang on to with the arms straight, we're going to take this overhead. So we're going to open up the shoulders here. Arms are going to stay straight. You're going to, again, keep those ribs tucked like we did in the warm-up when we did those big arm circles. The stick is going to come overhead and behind you. So the wider your hands are, the easier this is going to be. If it feels really easy, you can walk the hands in. Try not to pop that chest. We're here for 10. Good. All right. We're going to take the stick behind our back. We're going to do the Russian pullover. So level 1, I'll just show you first. You're going to lift the stick, fold forward, and you're just going to bring it down as far as you can. Let gravity pull that stick down, but you're in control, and then you come back up. Okay, so you just come down as far as you can, get a little stretch, come back up. If that feels okay and you want to explore, you can see if you can bring it all the way around. So let's do 5 of those at your level, whatever level you're at. Again, the wider the hands, the easier it is, so you may have to play with that, find your sweet spot. Good, Thomas. Good, Julie. Good, Eileen. All right. So far, so good? Okay. Let's bring it to the floor. We're going to do 2 rounds where we have our downward dog 2 high plank, and we're going to do a diagonal stretch. So let's review. So for this first downward dog to high plank, we're going to come into this downward dog position or a bear position. I want you to think about keeping that spine nice and straight. So that's the goal of this right now in this position, is keeping that back nice and straight. Those pelvic tilts that we did with those small hip circles, if you want to do a few pelvic tilts in this position, and as you tilt the pelvis back or up towards the ceiling, maintain that tilt. Keep the back nice and straight. The arms are straight, and you're going to shift your weight to your hands. So shifting your weight from your feet to your hands. If you can come all the way into high plank, that's great, but you don't have to. We're here for 10, do 2 more. Oh, nice, Julie. Good. Oh, really nice. We're staying on the floor after those down dog planks. And we are going to do some half kneeling diagonal stretch. Sorry, I was getting ahead of myself. I was going to move into something else. So we're in this half kneeling position, tucking those back toes. You're going to squeeze your glute. So before we even move into the stretch, I want you to just squeeze the glute, and I want you to feel this stretch through the front of the hip. So hold that. So if your right knee is down, that right arm now is going to cross over to the left shoulder. And then you're going to reach your left arm up and around, and you're going to see if you can touch your foot. Okay, try that again. Keep squeezing that glute. This guy. Reach with the arm. Like exaggerate that reach. Forward, up, back. 5 on each side. Set it up. Push into those back heels, squeeze the glute, get that nice stretch through the front of the leg first. And then when you're ready, taking it back. Good. All right, let's do that again. Down dog to high plank and diagonal stretch. So for 10, so if in the first round, first of all, let's set up this down dog. So remember, tilt your pelvis, back nice and straight. Then you're coming into plank. So if you weren't coming all the way into plank on that first round, maybe on this round you want to give that a try. Keep those arms nice and strong in that plank position. The shoulders should stay down away from the ears. Abs should be on. 2 more. Good. And then our half kneeling. Diagonal stretch. Taking a sec to set it up. Squeeze, stretch here. And then when you're ready, reach around. So you should feel a nice stretch in that back position all the way from this hip across diagonally the front of the body. That's what you're looking for. Other side when you're ready, if you haven't already. Good. Nice. All right. Let's bring it to the floor. We've got a few more exercises to go through. We're going to do 2 rounds now. We're going to get into the back a little bit more. So we're going to start with some scapular push-ups. So we're going to do them from the tabletop position. So knees are under the hips, hands are under the shoulders. So before we even start doing anything, let's just scan the body here. So the toes are tucked. So I don't want the tops of my feet on the floor. I want to tuck my toes. I want to bring attention now to the weight in my hands. So the weight should be under those first knuckles. So throughout this entire movement, See if you can keep the weight under those first knuckles, or even notice if the weight shifts. We will have a tendency, most of us, to shift that weight back. You'll feel it come back into your heels. The shoulder comes away from in line with the wrist. So these are just little things to watch for. From here, we're going to squeeze the shoulder blades together and then push them away. Squeeze, push away. Keeping those arms straight. We're here for 10. As you push at the top, really push, push, push. If I say push, push more. Oh, good. Nice. Well, it looks really good, Eileen. All right. So after you've done 10, we're going to stay on the floor. Now, believe it or not, for when we work on back bending, even at this beginner stage, opening up our hips is going to be really important. So we're going to do a little bit of hip opening right now. So in this half kneeling position, again with those toes tucked, I want you to start first squeezing your glute. So you're tilting that pelvis under, squeezing the glute, and then keeping that back straight, we're going to lean forward into this front leg. So coming forward and back for 5. Good. That front foot stays flat. On your last rep, on rep number 5, you're going to hold it here. Just let that hip sink. Squeeze the glute. And release. We're going to do the same thing now, only we're going to change the position of the foot. This time we come out at about 45 degrees. Hips, though, are still going to face forward, so if they were headlights, they're still facing forward, but the leg position has changed. And then rep number 5, we stay here. Good. All right, same thing, only now the leg comes right out beside us. So this is the one, this is everyone's favorite. Again, hips pointing forward, so hip bones pointing forward for 5. Good. Holding that last rep. All right, let's go to the other side. We're going to do the same thing. Foot is out in front. Squeeze the glute, back is straight. Forward and back for 5. Ooh. Might feel different from side to side. Holding that rep. Good. All right. Out at 45 degrees. Yes. And hold. Cool. All right. Out to the side. Nice. Don't forget to breathe. All right, release. Good. Okay, we're staying on the floor, just on our knees all night tonight. We're going to do a little bit of thoracic rotation, some twisting here. We did do this once upon a time, but let's review it. So we're in this kneeling position. We're sitting right back down onto our heels here, so we're not up here. You're going to come down to the floor and you're going to bring your elbows to your knees. And what you're going to do is you're actively going to push your elbows into your knees. Okay? It'll really just be one elbow and one knee at a time, because what we're going to do is we're going to take our hand, put it behind our head, and we're going to rotate up. We're going to try to look at the ceiling, opening up the back. You're going to do 5 rotations on each side, actively pushing into the knee with that other elbow, sitting back onto the feet. Going to the other side, setting it up, pushing into the knee with the elbow. Noticing if you have more range on one side. This one feels like torture for me. I've never liked these ones, but they're good for you. So we do them. But if you feel like they're challenging, or that like you're not even moving and you feel really stiff, you're not alone. So we just keep doing them until one day it feels better. Okay, let's come back. So we did scapular push-ups. We're going to do this everything again. In that first round we did scapular push-ups, but let's evolve it into cat and cow. So knees are still under the hips. Hands are still under the shoulders. We're keeping that straight line, so we're thinking about the weight under those first knuckles. We're going to round the spine, and then look up, arch the back, really look up towards the ceiling, tilt up, tailbone up towards the ceiling. When you're rounding, you're really pushing into those arms and shoulders. In this, when your back is arched, the cow position, you can also think about squeezing those shoulder blades together, like we did for those scapular push-ups. And then in the angry cat position, you're pushing away, like we did in those scapular push-ups. One more. Good. All right, back to the hips. So we're not going to go back to the 3 half kneeling. We're going to move into lizard for this one. We're going to change it up. So for lizard, you're going to bring one foot forward, hands are on the inside of the foot. Again, back toes are tucked, back leg is straight. If you need to drop that back knee, you can. This front foot stays firmly connected to the floor, so we're applying pressure evenly throughout that entire foot. You can hold this stretch, or if you want, you can add circles, pushing through those back toes. Do 5 circles in each direction. And then we'll go to the other side. So taking a second to set it up, don't feel like you have to rush into this stretch. You can hold that lizard before you start adding the circles. Good. And then we'll do one last set of those rotations. Sitting back onto our heels, elbows pushing into the knees, hand behind the head, looking up, rotating that spine. When I come down, I try to tap my elbow in the same spot on the floor every time. 5 on each side. Good. Okay. So if you need a drink, grab a drink. Let's do this. So, I'm going to introduce you to 3 movements right now. You may have seen these with me in the past, but I think for the most part they're going to be new for everyone except maybe Julie. The first exercise we're going to do is a Cobra walkout to child's pose. So we're getting again into that spine. The movement looks like this. The full movement looks like this, but then I'm going to break it down for you and give you your levels. So we start in this Cobra position. My arms are straight and I'm walking them out, keeping them straight, keeping that extension through my spine for as long as I can till I get to the floor. Then I push back into child's pose, stretch out my back, and then do it again. So your levels here, let's just go through all the levels together. It'll be a good little warm up, no matter which level you choose. We can start with the hands on the floor. We do this stretch a lot at the end of class. The hands can be right under the shoulders or out in front a little bit. You're going to peel your body off the floor. So you start by looking up, tilt that head back. You're peeling your front body off the floor, coming up until your arms are straight. You're squeezing your bum to take any pressure off of your low back. The tops of your feet stay connected to the floor. From here, you just leave your hands here and you come down nice and slow. But again, one piece at a time until that head is the last thing to come down. Okay? If you want now, come back up. Keep those arms straight. Squeeze the bum. See if you can walk your hands out. It looks easy, but it's a deceptive little one. It's hard on the fingers. Yes, that's it, Thomas. I can't see Eileen. Oh, good, Julie. Nice, nice, nice. Good. All right, so you get it? And then you push back, and then from there, don't forget to push back into child's pose. So once you've gotten all the way out here, you can bring your hands back, push back into child's pose. You'll see how nice that feels. Take a breath or two, and then you'll likely do it again. So the timer is going to be set for 45 seconds of work. You might get 2 of those done in 45 seconds, depending on how fast you walk the hands out. But it doesn't matter how many you get done. I really want you to focus on just keeping that extension as much as you can, looking back. So remember, your neck is an extension of your spine. So if the spine is rounding, we want that neck to finish the curve, right? And then you're coming down nice and slow. Don't forget, squeeze the bum. All right, back to child's pose. And the next exercise is where we will need our wall. You're going to you can start about a half arm's length away from the wall. So a good way to measure this is just half arm's length. Feet will stay about under the hips. You're going to reach up. You're going to keep your glutes engaged, so you're going to keep squeezing here. You're going to look back, so always looking back first. Squeeze your shoulder blades together, and then see if you can tap the wall behind you and come back up. Reach, look back, squeeze the shoulders, and then bend back. Keep squeezing. Yeah, good, Eileen. Good. Yes, Thomas. Reach, look. Oh, Julie, really nice. Oh, really nice, Julie. Okay, so to make this harder, if the half arm length feels okay, you can step further away from the wall. So you can go as far as about an arm's length. Same thing. Reach up, look, squeeze, Reach, 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 reach. And then back up. So again, we're going to do this for 45 seconds. You're not expected to move fast here. You're expected to move with awareness, getting into that spine. But I also don't expect you to rest. We're going to complement that, then we're going to stay at the wall. We did this one before too, a long time ago. We're going to work articulation through the spine again, only this time using the wall. You can start with your feet out in front of you, so they don't have to be touching the wall here. But I want your bum and your back in the back of your head to stay connected to the wall. And like we were doing on the floor, only here we're going to peel ourselves away from the wall, but we're going to come down. But you should think about just one piece of your back leaving the wall at a time. You're going to have to use your abs, pull up. Try to see if you can touch the floor, and then you're going to come back up. Same way, one piece of the back touching the wall at a time. Okay? Rolling down, coming back up. And you want your bum to stay connected to the wall. Now to make this harder, you'll walk your feet in closer to the wall until one day when you're super strong, you can have your heels touching the wall and do it. It's a lot of abs. Do not underestimate how much abs this requires. There's so much compression happening. As you're coming down and you're trying not to let that bum leave the wall, you're really gonna have to pull, 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 pull. Same thing coming up, pull, 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 pull up through the abs. All right? Okay, so Cobra walkouts to child's pose, mini drop backs, and those toe touches. We're gonna do it 3 times, 4 times, 45 seconds of work, 15 seconds of rest. Just gotta set up my timer here. Can't see anything. Here we go. Almost there. Okay. All right, so starting with those Cobra walkouts in 15 seconds. Choosing your level. Tops of the floor connected. Tops of the feet connected to the floor. Squeeze your bum. Looking up. Squeeze those shoulders together, those shoulder blades together. When the arms are straight, walking them out, coming down nice and slow. Keep looking up at the ceiling for as long as you can. Pushing back into child's pose. Doing it again. If you finish this one, if it beeps and you're in the middle of a rep, just finish this rep. I don't want you to stop this one in the middle. If it means you get less rest or less mini drop back time, that's okay. All right, mini drop backs. So to your wall, reach up, look, squeeze, bend. Taking whatever time you need to reset between reps. So just like with all the other articulation, when you're coming back up out of this, the head is the last thing to come up. All right, still at the wall. Bring that bum and back and head to the wall. Take a nice deep breath, relax. Then starting with the head, articulating through the spine. One more maybe. All right. Okay, back to Cobra. Keep that arch through the spine, arms straight as you walk them out. If you're not walking them out, you're still coming down one piece at a time. Good. Keep squeezing your bum. All right, mini drop backs. Find your wall. So something else you can think of with these, if you can keep track of how low or where you're touching on your wall, and seeing if you can hit that same target every time, or maybe getting lower. But if this is your first night doing these, just reaching back to the wall is lots. Almost there. Whew. All right, let's roll it down. Okay, starting with that head. Nice and slow. Remember, on that way up, you want to come up one vertebrae at a time as well. So use that wall for feedback. Try to get your back to connect. Or at least notice which parts aren't connecting. That's the first part. That's the first step. Notice which parts aren't connecting. Just do that. Okay, let's do it again. Cobra walkout. Peel it off. Hold that stretch for a bit. Enjoy the child's pose. So you can do whatever you like in this position. If you want to wiggle around a bit, you can. Keep the arms out in front, bring them to the side. Whatever feels good for you. Keep squeezing those glutes. Tops of the feet connected to the floor. All right, mini drop backs. Whew. I said 4 rounds, but I think we're only going to do 3 because I want to, I just remembered there's a lot of exercises in the next workout, so I wanted to have time to explain all those to you. And I'm feeling this in my back, so if I'm feeling it in my back, you're likely feeling it in yours. Good. Okay. So it'll be the last time for these. So make them count. Last round, best round. Notice how tight everything has to get as you start folding forward so as not to let your bum come away from the wall. It's all connected. The last time I did these, I think I gave myself a hernia. It's awful. I'm not keeping my feet as close to the wall this time. Okay, grab a drink. And we'll talk about what we have coming up. All right, push-ups, leg lifts, reverse plank, alternating scorpion, back extensions. So we got 5 exercises. We're going to do 4 rounds. So we're going to start with push-ups. Nothing fancy, whatever push-up version you do. You can do it from your knees or from your toes. But what I will encourage you to do is to keep your awareness, if nothing else, for this night, for these 4 rounds of push-ups. Keep that awareness of the weight under your first knuckles of your hands. So always trying to keep that shoulder over the wrist. Trying not to let the weight shift back into the heels of the hands. So down and up, if you can bring your chest all the way to the floor, bring your chest all the way to the floor, or you can do it from your knees. All right, so push-ups is the first one. Second will be leg lifts. So we're gonna flip onto our back. Head can rest on the floor here, arms are out to the side, probably down about 45 degrees. Level 1, you can keep the knees bent, and you just bring the toes to the floor, and then back up to 90. The straighter your legs, the harder it is. So with this one, I will cue you to, as you're lifting your legs, before you even lift your legs, you initiate that lift by pushing your low back into the floor. So you push your low back into the floor and then lift the legs. Keep that low back, keep pushing that low back into the floor to control the legs on the way down. You can let them rest and then pull again. Okay? That's 2. We're staying on the floor. I think this whole workout is on the floor. Reverse plank or reverse tabletop is next. So hands behind your back. Squeeze those shoulders together. Open that chest. So make sure that's nice and open. You should feel a nice stretch across the front there. Lifting the knees up. You just hold. Reverse tabletop. You can play with your hands, how it feels. Find a position that feels good for you, that it's not too uncomfortable on your wrists or your shoulders. This may look different on everyone. But if that feels okay, the reverse tabletop, you can extend your legs and do a reverse plank. So we are doing 4 rounds of this. If you want to maybe do your tabletop for the first couple of rounds and then try reverse plank as we go through, you can do that. Staying on the floor for scorpion. So from the downward dog, from the bear position, this hovering bear position, I guess it doesn't matter, it can be down dog as well. This is the one where we flip the foot behind us, we come down and we have a seat, right? And then you can come back to that bear position if you like, go to the other side, the leg goes behind, and you have a seat. This other leg is straight. Back to bear, arm is nice and strong. You want to push into that shoulder. So don't let this thing happen. You don't want to collapse into that shoulder. Keep that strong. And then if it feels okay and you want to just like let it flow, from this position, if you push off of this bent leg, you scoot that other leg through and behind. And you can do it that way. So now I'm going to push off of this foot. This leg is going to shoot under and then back. So you can choose which version you like. Again, like I said, 4 rounds. So this is 30 seconds of play. I don't care how many reps you do. I just want you to focus on the coordination and slowly work through the coordination at your own pace. This will look awkward for many people, so it's all right. And then we stay on the floor for back extensions. So we did lots of Cobras. Our back is nice and warmed up. Level 1, hands stay down here by your shoulders, and you're just lifting the chest. Or you lift chest and feet at the same time. And if that feels okay, you extend the arms and you do it this way. All right, we got it all? I'm throwing so much at you tonight. Push-ups, leg lifts, reverse tabletop or reverse plank, alternating scorpion, and back extensions. 30 seconds of work, 15 seconds of rest. Let me just set this up. We're going to start. Any questions? No? Okay, we're going to start in 15. Grab your drink if you need it. Starting with those push-ups, choosing your level. Remember, weight under those first knuckles. Arms and shoulders are strong for your push-up. Squeeze your legs and your glutes. If you can get 10, that would be great. You can stop at 10. Good. All right. Leg lifts. Lots of abs. So again, choosing your levels, knees bent or straight or somewhere in between. Head is on the floor. Pushing that low back into the floor to lift the legs. Trying, if they are straight, you want to keep them as straight as possible. Point your toes. Again, moving with control, but as fast as you can with control. Okay, reverse tabletop or plank. Regardless of which version you're doing, you want to squeeze those glutes at the top. Also make sure those shoulders are set before you even lift off. Push up, up, up. If you can't make the full 30 seconds, that's fine. You can come down, but keep pushing if you can. Good, keep going. Rest. Ooh, gave me a cramp in my foot. Okay, alternating scorpion. So this is your play, your practice. There's no expectations here. This is new, you're exploring. But that leg is flipping behind you. Pushing into the arm and shoulder. Good. Okay, back extensions. Whew. Nice. Squeezing the legs, pointing the toes, lifting that chest as high as you can. How about we hold whatever rep you're on, just, oh, I was gonna say just hold it. Okay, back to push-ups. Yeah, we really don't get off the floor for this one. Oh, interesting. I didn't realize that when I planned it. Here we go. So a push-up is a moving plank. So that core should stay nice and tight. Your neck, remember, is an extension of your spine. So it should stay straight. Don't tuck it. Whew. Leg lifts. And then reverse plank. All right, set this up. Point those legs, point those toes. Even if your legs are bent, point your toes. Pushing that low back into the floor. Reverse plank. See if I get a foot cramp this time. So weird. All right, set it up. Pushing into the arms, opening that chest, squeezing the shoulders, lifting the hips. Push, push, push. Keep lifting. Keep squeezing those glutes. It's alternating scorpions after this. Keep pushing. All right. Let's do it. Choosing your level. Remember, you can always come back, transition through bear. But I really want you to feel that nice stretch that happens as the foot and the arms start to leave the floor. There's a really nice side body stretch that happens. Okay, back extensions. Choose your level, arms extended or by your shoulders. Do 10 reps and then hold your last rep. If you're not counting, this is 6. Hold. Whatever rep you're at, there you go. Okay, let's do it again, push-ups. We're halfway. Push-ups are the hard part. Okay, here we go. Nice and tight. At the top of your push-up, you can think about those scapular push-ups we did in the warm-up, where we push away at the top. You don't have to squeeze anything here. That push is nice to finish the push-up. Leg lifts. All right. If you wanted to make these harder, even still, you could do it from the hollow body position. So where the head is off the floor, arms are extended overhead, or just the way we were doing them. Okay, reverse plank. Remember, set it up before you even lift your bum. Squeeze those shoulders, arms are straight, open that chest. You want to hold that the entire 30 seconds. And keep pushing. Keep lifting those hips. Now try to sink down. You gotta keep pushing up, up, up. Even if you have a cramp in your foot. Almost there. All right, good job. Scorpion. So yeah, like I was saying, as the arm and the foot are leaving the floor, there's a really nice stretch that happens through here. So if you can try to enjoy that little piece, that's well worth the exercise. I try to keep that hand on the floor for as long as possible until my foot brings me down. Back extensions. There we go. So 10 and hold your last rep. Keep going. Hold. Reach those arms away. Can you get them straight? Point the toes. Good. Okay. From the top. Oh, push-ups. Last time through. We got it. No big deal. Keep going. Keep it tight. Yes. Oh, nice, Eileen. Good. All right, leg lifts. Whew. Last set. So again, moving with control. As fast as you can, but with control. Pointing those toes, straightening those legs if you can. Pushing that low back into the floor. Whew. All right. Reverse plank. Squeeze those shoulders. This is a back exercise. Lift those hips. We're just holding. Squeeze the glutes. Push up, up, up. Almost there. Good. scorpion. Good. Nice. Keep going. We're close. Good. Okay. Back extensions and we're done. All right, nice straight legs. Point the toes. Lift that chest. All right, hold this wrap. Extend those arms, get them nice and straight. Lift, lift, lift. High as you can. Woo, good job. Grab a drink. Okay, we'll do a little stretch. Not that we didn't do enough stretching already. But let's start actually. Why don't we come to standing and we'll stretch out that low back. So the knees are going to be bent. You can have your feet together here. And what I want you to do is grab onto the back of your legs. You can interlace your fingers if you like, but you're going to interlace your fingers behind your legs and you're going to push up through your back. Tuck your tailbone so you're rounding your back as much as possible here. You can grab your hands however you like so that they don't slip. But pushing up through the back, tuck your chin. Remember, keep that neck rounded in this position. Then from here, see if you can do little shoulder circles. So your hands are still interlaced, but you're like circling your shoulders down your back. If that makes sense. And then release the hands. Slowly roll up. Good. Come to the floor. Staying with the low back stretch. Let's just bring the knees into the chest. Good. Release, bring the feet to the floor. Let's cross the right leg over the left. So you're completely crossed over. And now we're going to drop the knees to the right. Or, yeah, you can keep them there. And then back up to center, and let's go to the other side. Ooh, it's a tight side. Good, and then back up. Let's come up into seated. And just a comfortable cross-legged position. And then just reaching the arms forward, and again, just rounding the back. And just doing whatever feels good in this position, whatever wiggles you like. You can manipulate your hands. Walk them to a spot where the stretch feels really good for you. But keep that back rounded. And then slowly roll up. And that's it.